Today on Land Beat, we're going to be talking about making lemonade out of lemons and utilizing utilization cages. Utilization cages or exclusion cages are important on every food plot. They can answer a lot of questions that landowners have when you look at mediocre food plots. There's many reasons why a food plot fails, but one of the most common reasons why I see food plots not express their full potential is because there's too many deer feeding on the food plot every night. You can look, this is a field of soybeans. We skipped herbicide on this field for 2 growing seasons. So 2 whole years we just continued to plant food plots without using herbicide. We decided, based on the amount of weeds we were seeing last summer, that we were going to come in, we were going to plant it in soybeans and spray it to kill off the weed competition. It's working great. We still have a lot of forage out here with the soybeans, but the exclusion cage tells us that we have a lot of deer feeding in this food plot. If you look, it's almost chest tall. There's soybean pods all the way up. They're filling out, it's still blooming, so it's continuing to make pods. And outside of the cage, you see these soybeans are just browse like crazy. And they're still blooming, they will still make pods, but this is where we're gonna make lemonade out of lemons. If our entire plot looked like this is a forage soybean, and across the 1.5 acre food plot, we had soybeans this tall. That would mean that we're not going to establish a fall food plot in this site because there's too much green vegetation shading out the ground, shading out weeds, and also shading out our fall blend that we were to plant, if it could even get through this to get to the soil. But because of the browse pressure, we came in July, it's now late August, and we broadcasted brassicas here. So there's enough sunlight, enough bare ground beneath, and the thatch from last spring's cover crop that the brassicas were able to hit the ground. They got plenty of rain, and you can see we have soybeans growing, and in the gaps where there aren't soybeans, we've got brassicas coming on. So this fall, we will have short standing grain of the soybeans because they will make pods, and then we'll also have green brassicas, and then we'll come through in September when we have rain and broadcast cereal grains to fill in the gaps that were between the brassicas. So we'll have standing greens, standing grains, and a great attraction for food throughout the winter on into next spring. And this wouldn't happen if we were only committed to standing soybeans. So we say this all the time, but don't be fully committed to any system. Don't be fully committed to just corn or just soybeans. Be partially committed to everything. If your crops are failing in summer, be prepared to turn around in June and plant brassicas. If those fail, be prepared to turn around and plant cereal grains and annual clovers in August. If those fail, then go to cereal grains like wheat and cereal rye in September and October. But don't just be fully committed to this month to plant this species to have these results, because it's the natural world. Things fail. We're always changing, having to pivot. We're throwing curveballs, and this is a way that we can utilize soybeans over deer pressure and still get a great fall crop.